Hello and welcome back to the Washington Nationals March to October. It is opening day of year 2 on this March to October, and I'm so excited to get this season started. We're coming off a World Series victory, so we're looking to defend that title. We had a big off season signing Matt Chapman, Ian Happ, Ahmed Rosario, and some other guys too. We had a huge offseason. We kept our core together. The pitching staff is all together. I think we are ready to build a dynasty in Washington, D.C. here. So we're hopping straight into the opening day game today, and then we'll talk about the roster, the lineups, and all that. But I decided to start it like this just because, and we'll see later on, the auto-generated roster, man, the lineups was so crazy. And that's what it's going to be for opening day because there's no getting around that. This projection screen was infamous last season with how wrong it was. This year it might be a little bit more right. They have Meneses projected to lead in a lot of things, but Ian Happ to lead the team with only 3.8 WAR. That seems a little low. And this actually gives me a good chance to make the one roster move that I know I'm gonna have to make right now. I'll talk about why I'm gonna have to make this when I talk about the roster and the lineups after this game's over. The only thing you need to know right now is Tony Kemp has to come out of the game because he's playing first base. So we'll go ahead, get Lane Thomas in here to pinch hit, and then when we get back on defense, we'll switch him and Joey Meneses around so we actually have somebody who can play first base. But yeah, man, that offseason we had 2 parts, 2 different episodes. If you missed it, if you want to go back and see the process of assembling this team for year 2. But I really like where this team's at. I mean, we are already full of young players with good potential ratings, and that's kind of what I signed. Oh, and I'm striking out on a fastball right down the middle. There we go. But like both Ian Happ and Ahmed Rosario are A potentials, under 30 years old, so they still have a chance to develop even further. We also have Matt Chapman, who's only 30. Another big signing was Jordan Hicks to the bullpen. He's only 27, I think, with a B potential. Another new signing here that I forgot to mention, Kevin Kiermaier is up at the plate right now. We signed him pretty late on in the offseason. He's made the team. He'll be a good defensive addition and speed addition to the team. And he's drawing a walk here in my first at-bat with him. Or I guess technically it wasn't an at-bat. And here's Ahmed Rosario's first plate appearance for me as a Washington National. He's 0 for 2 though so far. But I think that this has the chance, and he's going to hit that down the line. That actually might score a run with Kiermaier's speed. I'm going to send him. 85 speed. This is one of the reasons Kiermaier is here, because he can fly around the bases. How about that? Ahmed Rosario making an impact on, like, that was the first pitch I saw with him, I think. What I was in the process of saying is he might be the signing I'm actually most excited about, because he has already really good contact numbers and really good speed. His power is kind of like middle of the road, but it's fine. But then on top of that, he's already an 83 overall. I think he's 28 years old with an A potential, so he's got time and room to improve. Oh, and Abrams, I just got under that one. That would have been nice to follow up Rosario's double with another one. We also got so much faster, I feel like, with our signings. Like, we see Rosario and Kiermaier there, both of them flying around the bases. Ian Happ is faster than who we had. We also signed Jorge Alfaro as a backup catcher, but as a catcher, he has like 75 speed. Joey Meneses to the gap. Oh, it does get down. He hit it just hard enough to get over Bryce Harper's head. I wonder if they're gonna call that an error. I don't see error popping up anywhere, so that might just be a double. Oh, and this is Matt Chapman's first at bat with the team, and that's a pitch you want to get around on. Oh, and I'm striking out in Chapman's first at bat. But hey, we put up 2 in the first inning with this new look team. I like it. I like it so far. We got Steven Strasburg on the mound as the opening day starter. He's somebody that I don't really know what the future is going to hold, because he's coming into this season at an 82 rating. The only reason he didn't regress last year was because I had that call-up chance, and oh man, that was right out of his reach. But we had that call-up with Strasburg because he started in the minors because he was hurt in real life, and that call-up player lock situation gave him a boost. But he regressed back down to his original overall before he was boosted, and now that he's a year older, I'm guessing regression's going to hit pretty hard. So ideally, I'm going to have him on the trade block, and we're going to get a trade popping up for him. And honestly, I don't really care what we get back for him. It's more just about freeing up that money, because we still have him on the books right now for I think $35.5 million a year for like 3 more years. So to get that money off the books would be really good for us then going into next offseason. But while he's still around, he's going to be our highest rated starting pitcher, so he can give us a good maybe first half of the season, hopefully. There we go. I left that right down the middle. And there's Lane Thomas with his slow reactions out there and right. Oh my God. Oh, okay. I don't know how that was foul. Are we going to throw him out? Oh, yeah. K-Bear Ruiz, if that's the one thing he's lacking, is kind of a defensive presence behind the plate. Oh, and then Strasburg. We can't be doing that. That wasn't the best pitch, though, by me. All right, well, it's all evened up now. Strasburg, can you get us out of this inning after that? There we go. Sit him down. Bounce back with that circle change. All right, it's just back to where we started. Tie game again. I feel like that's the first major difference we're going to notice is offense is going to come a lot easier this season. Because like last year, especially near the start before people were really progressing a ton, we had so many guys with such low ratings trying to hit on legend difficulty. And you know, sometimes it was a struggle to push runs across. That's just what happens when you got guys stepping up with 40 contact and power. And Luis Garcia, really, with that swing, that wasn't hit better? All right, we got Ian Happ stepping up to the plate, though. It doesn't let up. He's going the other way. What do we got out of this? Really? He got it too? Schwarber out there in the left? K-Bear Ruiz, that one gets through. All right, that is 3 pretty nice swings in a row. Oh my God, what am I doing? I was completely sold out on the fastball there on 3-2, and I made that swing on what was clearly ball 4. Let's get a new arm in here, one of our new arms. Jordan Hicks coming in. Don't pay any attention to those numbers last season. They don't matter. He's coming in here to be our long relief pitcher. He's got that outlier sinker. He's got a good fastball, slider, circle change. Look at the break on that slider. Man, I gotta rein that in. But the biggest thing about Hicks is that he has 65 stamina. And knowing this game and how it works and how the CPU sims games, that long relief role is very important. Like, he might rack up over 100 innings as a long reliever this season. And that is a really good first at bat. And like I touched on earlier, he's going to have a chance to get a lot better. We signed him for a long time. He's still really young. So those ratings are only going to continue to go up. And hopefully a lot of that goes into that control and walks per 9, because kind of has a big par there, that shaded area. Slider strikes him out. Perfect throw. And we got him. All right. Strike him out. Throw him out. Double play to get out of the inning. Not everybody can run on Ruiz. And they are going to a new arm here. A lefty to face Kiermaier. This probably would be a decent spot here if I wanted to go to Victor Robles. But here on opening day, well, what's that going to do? Ah, okay. I don't think that's going to find a spot to land. Yeah. Okay. Yep, and Abrams against lefties isn't that great either, so we got to do it in the 9th. Don't want to go to extras on opening day here, come on. And well, this is why he's here, right? We might as well go an extra inning here. Give Jordan Hicks 2. There we go, fastball right down the middle at 101. Oh, and that time he made contact on that fastball right down the middle. One more out, Hicks. Oh, he got a round on that, but gold defender Happ is going to be over to make that play. That might not be a play Dickerson makes last year. Joey Meneses coming up to the plate here with the lefty still on the mound. This could give us that instant go-ahead run. And he's going to draw a leadoff walk. That works for me. Matt Chapman coming up next has a lot of pop versus lefties. Oh, and that, I mean, he threw, I think, 3 straight 12-6 curves and then puts that in the perfect spot up and away. That's going to be a tough pitch to hit anytime. Come on, though. Luis Garcia coming up here. Lefty. Is he going to be Mr. Clutch for a second season? I guess this is a good first chance for that. Don't no. And that is another pretty good swing from Happ. That's not doing anything there. So if we're going to win here on opening day, we're going to have to go to extras. We're going to give Bohm to Jordan Hicks because Bohm hits lefties way better. But then they have Harper and Schwarber coming up back-to-back after him. Oh, and he made a pretty good swing there up and in. But, dude, the defense we have now out in the outfield, either of them would have gotten to that ball. We're going to go to our other new bullpen arm here. Showcase them all on opening day. Matt Moore was our new signing. We needed another lefty out there in the pen because we only had Mantiply last year. He was our only lefty. And it was looking that way again before I pulled the trigger on Matt Moore. But now we got another one out there. Oh, he swung at a pitch that hit him. All right, I guess Matt Moore is nasty. Good first outing for him, and we're sending it to extras on opening day. Keibert Ruiz coming up here with that free runner on second. That's fine, though. That at least moves the runner up. You got to cash in that run. Now we got Lane Thomas, better against lefties. All you need is a deep enough fly ball. Oh my God, I'm early on that two-seam twice in a row. It's been right there, and I've been early. And then, of course, I'm early on the circle change. We got to go to a different bat here. We can't go lefty-lefty. Well, I guess, actually, it'll be clutch rating. Kiermaier is 69 clutch. Robles only has 49. We could go to Jorge Alfaro, another new signing. 87 clutch with 68 power versus lefties. This has to be the move. Get in there, Jorge. Make a splash here in your first game. Look at that. He's got a huge PCI here. He comes through. Jorge Alfaro to the gap. 75 speed, too, is going to be enough to get him a double. Man, the entire offseason, he was just stuck in the back of my mind. There was a little voice telling me, you got to make sure you pick up Jorge Alfaro as a backup catcher. And he comes through in his first at-bat with 2 outs and a runner on third in the 10th. They're going to walk Rosario, and that's the other good thing about Alfaro. He's got enough speed that a base hit should bring him home. Oh, and I got around on that, but that's not going to go anywhere. But hey, we took the lead. They're going to have that runner on second, but we have the lead. Go ahead and get Robles out there in center. And I'm going to our guy, our best reliever out there, Joe Mantiply, to close this one out. That is the one thing I feel like we lack on this team is a true closing pitcher. The game by default has Mantiply there. I changed it to Kenley, but Kenley's going to be regressing too. I don't know. That's something we'll talk about later. I gotta focus on winning this. Okay, that's an out. Moves them up to third, which I don't like, but it's an out. I'm assuming they're bringing in speed. I don't know, man. I don't really want to like bring the outfield in. I could bring the defense in. I'll bring him halfway in, but I'll leave the outfield there because I don't want to bring the outfield in and then give up an extra base hit. And of course, an outfield that was in, maybe Lane Thomas gets there. You can't tie the game on that kind of a swing. 57 miles per hour off the bat. Even if the defense, if I left the infield at normal depth, the second baseman would have got that. Throw out JT again. Come on. You can't run on Keibert Ruiz. And that one's Garcia's, but man, Mantiply did so good. He didn't give up anything hard hit. That was just such a fluke. All right, but it's Meneses again, and they're still leaving that lefty in. Oh, and I rolled over on it. No, just let that pitch be. I could take a strike there. I don't think that one's going anywhere. That'll move him up to third. And it's Mr. Clutch, Luis Garcia. That's who we want up. Look at him with that 88 clutch rating. I guess maybe Alfaro is going to give him a run for his money. But maybe not. Oh, that's not going to get down. No, dude, I thought I made a great swing. How was that not hit harder? Starting it out the same way, letting that runner move up to third. I think we walked the next guy, though. Set up that double play, even though this would have been a good matchup. Can you even set up a double play when Turner's the one that came up? Maybe I got to go corners in. Oh, Abrams couldn't make the play at short. I thought he lined out there and that would have been huge. I honestly feel like I can't be too upset with that, with just how fluky that was. I mean, yeah, maybe I should have done better on offense there at the end and pushed some runs across. Maybe I do need to be more upset because this kind of sets the tone. Last year we won. I think we won on a walk-off, and that really set the tone for the season. We kind of didn't look back. But now we're starting it off getting walked off on with 4 snowflakes of negative momentum to start. I don't like that. But it is what it is now. We just got to live with it, and I think this team is good enough to live with it. Let's hope our next game doesn't come too far and we get a chance to reverse that momentum pretty early on. So what do we got here? Oh, the scouts. Forgot about the scouts. Can we replace Alan Slaughter this year? Wait, we have a different scout here. We used to have Hoyt, but now we have Mark Shoemaker. I don't know. Maybe I still don't know anything about scouting after last year, but I feel like efficiency is the biggest one because then you can scout more people. But what do we have here? If I want to get rid of Alan Slaughter and hire a new guy, it has to be $97,800 or less. So everybody from Eddie Flores down, I'm guessing we'd be able to afford. And actually, Eddie Flores himself is pretty good. Although I guess if we look at what we have, not like Cody Sable's bad at scouting pitchers, but he's worse at scouting pitchers. So maybe we want somebody whose strength is scouting pitching. Man, this is kind of tempting though too. 97 efficiency, 96 discovery, but we kind of already have that build with Shoemaker. Maybe I fire Shoemaker and sign this guy, and then we just completely lean into the efficiency and discovery. Just always have this guy discovering people and send him off to the other two to fully scout. And then we can fire Slaughter for Thomas Patton with high efficiency, good scouting pitchers. I think I'm going to do this though. I don't know if, I'm hoping. I've never fired and hired scouts in March to October after they made this change. So I hope it doesn't just go off the rails here. I guess I'll fire Slaughter first, because if something goes wrong and we're stuck only being able to fire and hire one guy, probably want to fire Slaughter and hire Patton. So we'll do that. We'll fire Slaughter, replace him with Thomas Patton, and there we go. And then yeah, I'll just lean into the whole discovery thing. We'll fire Shoemaker for Benji Lincoln, get a little bit better discovery rating, and we can just always have Benji out there finding new players. So we'll make that change too. And now our scouts look good. Are we gonna get swept by Philly? We don't know yet, because I gotta start the scouting process. Man, I forgot how quick they flung you into this. Well, first base is probably the one position that we could use a really good draft pick on, and the top ranked first baseman is the 28th ranked, which actually matches up pretty good because we won the World Series, so we have the 30th pick in the draft. And we got some names here. Look at these top 3, just good names. Marty Jarvis, Rod Sargent, and then I know Jeff Garcia is a little more tame, but look at him. They say he's 18 years old. Dude looks like he's 42. Looks like he's played a whole career. I guess actually, maybe now that I think about it, if I would have put a little bit more thought, I might not have hired Thomas Patton, because I feel really good about where our pitching's at least starting pitching. So I probably wanted to go after more position players in terms of scouting, but now we really only have Cody Sable being any good at scouting position players. Like I still don't really know the nuances of how scouting works. So I don't know if Thomas Patton with a 62 position player rating is like trustworthy. I'm still not clear on that. Like if I assign Thomas Patton to scout a position player and he scouts him to 100%, like even getting him to 100%, that doesn't mean it's accurate scouting, right? Especially if he's only a 62 rated scout. All right, well, this is what I'm set on for week 1 here. I know I remember saying last year scouting by position was probably the way to go instead of scouting individual players. But my thought here was, since first base is like our main focus, we'll get the top player at first base scouted fully first. So that's where Cody's gonna go, and then Thomas Patton scouting pitchers. Probably relief pitchers is what we need more than starters. So I was gonna have him scout closing pitchers internationally, because there's a lot of international closing pitchers near the top. But this Jim Carlisle dude looked pretty intriguing, and he doesn't fit under that category. So I'm going to scout him to 100% first. It's only going to take 1 week. And then next week, we'll start scouting position-wise. And then we got our discovery guy, Benji Lincoln, on the case, finding infielders from the West. I just kind of picked a random one, so we'll go with it. So we'll go ahead and advance here. We should be back to simming, right? Yep, and we did get swept by Philly to start, and we're continuing that losing streak against Pittsburgh. So we are off to a great start here defending the title in Season 2, 0-4. All right, but now we can finally talk about the roster this season, and I'm going to try and keep it short because between an extra inning game and then the scouting, this might already be a long episode. First of all, though, they're projecting us at 79 wins. That's not what it started at. We were at an even 81 wins. They were projecting us to be a 500 team at the start. They have us ranked 15th, so dead even there. So they really project us to be the complete definition of average. They projected us at 81 and 81, ranked 15th. Pitching wise, I guess Strasburg's already, that regression's already hitting. And then, like I said, I put Kenley at closer. He's also already regressing, so I don't really know how long that's going to last. I just didn't really want to have Mantiply there because that's kind of like only having one lefty in the bullpen again, if that makes sense. Like if you're waiting until the 9th with a lead and that's the only spot you're going to use your closer, if that was Mantiply, then that kind of restricts when we can use, or when the CPU will use, our lefties throughout the game. But now it's on to hitting, and this was what was very messed up. So I changed the batting orders already and the positioning already before last game. It just didn't kick in yet. So this is what I have here. So first, let's talk about the biggest thing. If you watched the offseason, the thing that I kept going back to throughout was the fact that it kept not showing a first baseman for us on the depth chart. And I just assumed that was something weird visually that was going on. But Dom Smith is nowhere to be found. He is completely gone. He is not on our 26-man roster. If you go in here, which is the only way you can look at our minor leaguers, he's nowhere in the depth chart for first base. He's just gone. I don't know where he went. I never saw him in free agency, so I really don't know how we lost him, but I did not want to lose him. He had such a good year last year. He had a lot of improvement, and he was still young enough with a high enough potential to improve more. So he definitely could have stuck around at first base for us, but now he's gone. But back to the lineup screen here to fill in for first base now, since we didn't know in the offseason I'd need to sign a first baseman. So right now we have Meneses playing first every day, and we don't have anybody who can back him up. But there's some other big things here that I feel like we have to go over. The first one being CJ Abrams is out and right. I made the decision that shortstop is a more important position defensively to have a better defender there, so I have Rosario playing short. Not like he's an amazing fielder, but 68 fielding over 58 fielding I think is a pretty good difference. But actually, the more I looked into it, I think Abrams is actually really well suited to play the outfield, because like, yeah, he only has the 58 fielding, but he has 78 reaction, which is, I think, gonna take a hit with being in a secondary position, but still over 70 reaction. So that's going to determine, partially at least, the kind of jumps he gets on fly balls. And I'm sure you all remember every time a fly ball was hit to Lane Thomas in right, I would complain about him getting a bad jump on it, and that's probably because he had 48 reaction. And then the other big one is Jesse Winker was one of those auto signings at the very end of free agency, but actually, he's not that bad. So we have him starting at DH here. But the big thing is Jesse Winker has 97 plate discipline. So he's going to draw some walks. He's going to get on base. So I feel like that rating alone, that attribute is pretty valuable. So then the rest of the lineup against righties is pretty standard, but then against lefties is where I kind of made some more changes, even more so. So the lineup itself is different. Robles is back out there. We have Rosario leading off with then Happ. Lane Thomas is back in right, but then another big change. Jorge Alfaro, I have him starting against lefties. So yeah, we got a catcher platoon going this year. That's the other thing we're going to have to keep an eye on though, is I wasn't sure what to do about DH. I have Winker there for now. He's not much worse versus lefties than righties, but that is still a lefty-lefty matchup, so it might not be the best. So I was originally thinking about either DHing Ruiz or Alfaro, whoever I want to have behind the plate, but Winker does have that 97 plate discipline, and it doesn't matter what hand is throwing to him for that. So for now, we have Winker starting both ways at DH. But yeah, guys, make sure if you enjoyed today's episode, you hit that like button for me and subscribe if you haven't already. But that is going to do it for this first episode of season 2. So thank you all for watching today. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you next time.